Welcome to the Voice for Mount Pleasant podcast, featuring discussions and interviews about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant such a special place.
Hello, this is Roger Gaither, your host for the Voice for Mount Pleasant podcast. In this episode, Bill Macchio, the publisher of Mount Pleasant magazine, talks with Nicole Harvey, the special events manager for the town of Mount Pleasant, and Tracy Richter about the 2020 Mount Pleasant Christmas Parade. And now, here are Bill, Nicole, and Tracy.
I'm so excited to let everybody here know these two ladies here, they are the CEO of Mount Pleasant Fun. That's what I call them, Nicole and Tracy. Thanks you guys for joining me so much.
Thank you for having us.
Bill, for having us. We always love talking with you.
So you guys really you have a lot of responsibility trying to put everybody together and making these events happen. And Nicole, I'd like to start with you. What's your passion? Where does that come from?
Oh gosh, I just love the whole process of bringing an event to life. And, we do a lot of hard work in the background that not everybody really understands or realizes. But for us to, when it's the craziness of event day and all of the madness leading up to it, when we get to event day, every once in a while, Tracy and I will have to make each other stop and just say, take it in, because, people laughing and families enjoying and making lifelong memories, that is really what drives me.
Well, that's awesome. Tracy, what about you? What drives you?
I have to agree. I think it is the family aspect. I've worked with the town for so long. It kind of started out as making sure I could do stuff that I enjoy doing with my kids. And then it just kind of came to being that person that helped other people find fun stuff to do. And that just kind of became a way of life for us, is, knowing the people who can, kind of pull out the hat and make some magic happen. So I've loved the events that have been here. I've been in Charleston for over 25 years, going to events. I love going out to different things. So to be able to create one of those 3 or 4 of those things for other people has been it's been very fulfilling.
Nicole's so right about that. Often we get caught up in the events, and just for you guys to just take one deep breath and look what you created. There's a big reward there, isn't there?
There is. It's huge. And it's, it's what keeps you going when life gets really crazy. You think we know we're going to see this come to life and it's going to be amazing. And so that keeps us going. And I was wondering, as I was listening to you, Tracy, in 10 years together, I don't know if we've ever, but what you just said made me think, were you always like the social director in high school? Like you were always one, well, this is what we're doing this weekend.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, you guys really complement each other. I mean, I said this before. It's fun to watch you two guys up together because it's very obvious where the details are and how you guys really complement one another. That's part of what makes you guys successful. Okay. So I wanted everybody to get to know you guys a little bit more. Tracy, tell us about you have children and how long you've been doing this again?
My kids are mostly grown. I have a 23-year-old son who just graduated, finally got to walk. Woohoo, that was a big thing. And then my daughter's a sophomore at Coastal. Go Shants from this past weekend with the big upset. So it was a big weekend in our house with everything. And I have done work for the town for full-time 10 years and part-time for about 7 before then.
And Nicole, what about you? Tell everybody who's is listening and watching this about you and what you've done. How long you've been doing it?
I started with the town in 2010. This will be my 11th Christmas parade running it, and plus an additional 3 before that, being in it with my small children. We moved here. My dad and stepmom and family moved here right after Hugo came to clean up, and which we were just kind of talking about a little bit. And so I've been visiting here ever since then. And then my family, my husband and my 2 daughters, who both go to Wando now, we moved here 14 years ago. And I have to apologize because I am working from home right now, and we have a puppy. Who,
what kind of puppy? What kind of puppy?
Oh, he's a Springer Doodle who we have added to our Labradoodle. And so now they've, of course, decided to play with us. They want to be in on the action. But so, yeah, I have a senior and a freshman at Wando. And, they grew up. We talked a little bit before about they really grew up first attending and enjoying our events. And then we put them to work. And Tracy's kids have been the same way. They're a little bit older than my kids. But all four of our kids grew up together and grew up working at our events and, volunteering, voluntold, as our friend Jeff.
That's good, voluntold.
Yeah, so it's been a really wonderful experience, and we love Mount Pleasant, and I just love, couldn't have picked a better spot to put our roots down. Always loved visiting here over the years when I was growing up, and so here we are forever.
So, we've talked about this before too. Together, Mount Pleasant Magazine tries to pull people together through the pages of the magazine. And you and Tracy do the same thing with your events. What have you guys done to bring the community together during this awkward time, could be called, uncertain times? But what have you guys done? Because you had to be creative to make it happen.
We did. Well, for several months, the world kind of shut down a couple days before, really the day before Art Fest would have been, that kicks off our event season for the year. And so unfortunately we had to cancel Art Fest at Town Center the day before the event. And then we spent several months, really, I felt like we lived on IFEA, International Festival and Events Association, SCFEA, webinars, and just trying to wrap our heads around what does the events industry look like in this world. And so we were on many webinars with people from all over the world in our industry.
Hey, Nicole, let me ask you a question. Yeah. What was the biggest tip that you and Tracy got from the webinars you went to that everybody else was experiencing the same thing you were? What was one of the things that really rises to your thoughts that was successful and made sense?
This is going to be very broad, and it's something that we've always had to do, but we really, in the events industry, had to hone in and really become even more professional than we already were at just being flexible and open your mind and be creative. And you really got to look at every event is individual and specific and has its own set of challenges on any given day. So we really you have to look at the event you have and the space that you have. And, for several months, everybody was kind of deer in headlights. What happens? I mean, South by Southwest was one of the first big events to shut down. And I just remember watching that whole thing unfold and are they going to even survive? And so be flexible and be creative. That's been the name of the game. But so to answer your question, though, to bring several months in, once we were kind of settled in and everybody got used to the idea that this is the new life we're going to live in for a little bit, we started getting creative and came up with some smaller events. We decided that we would be able to move forward with our Waterfront Music and Movies series, which is on Fridays in August, because we have a huge lawn and the crowd size there is never huge. And so that went really well.
So y'all can practice social distancing pretty easy there.
Yes, it was. And what we found, and this has been one of the drivers, I think, for the decision on the parade, is that people really follow the directions given. We put signage out, social distance, wear masks when that's not possible. And people were really good about spreading out. And we got nobody who said that they were uncomfortable in the surroundings and the environment. So then we got really creative and we had some opportunities to do some fun things that we've never even thought about before. We did an opera event at Waterfront Park, and that turned out really nice. And then we did a John Denver and Linda Ronstadt tribute with the Wolf Street Playhouse and Village Repertory Theater in Keeley. A lot of people here probably know her. She's been here forever. They did that at the Town Hall lawn, which is something we've never done an event on the Town Hall lawn before, so that was great.
I think that COVID has made us be more creative in our approach to almost every business. I'm going to change the tone just a little bit here. Tracy, what do you like best about working with Nicole?
Be careful. On the spot.
I was really lucky that when Nicole was hired, my department head allowed me to sit in on the interview. So on the last round of interviews, so I got to really kind of ask people some questions and get a feeling from it. And when Nicole gave me her answer, it was kind of right along with the same way I think about things. So I really one thing I like to work with her is we do kind of think about things on the same level, or there might be something that, I'm pretty sure something that I don't really think is that important that she does, and there's something that she might think that's like, I will think of certain things and she knows I will, then I know that she'll think of certain things. So I don't always have to think of everything 100%, and we both like to go out and do things and learn about other events, places. So it's kind of fun to have someone to go see things. And, it's been good.
Sounds like a good marriage. Go ahead, Nicole. What's your answer to that?
We laugh a lot. I mean, we could sit here and tell you a million crazy stories about some just unbelievable situations we've dealt with, but we can look at each other and know what we're thinking. And we tend to always be on the same page. But mainly we just laugh. We can always look back at the craziest things and laugh and just say, You know
what you guys have there, similar as to what we have at the magazine? You guys are there to put on the best event possible.
Yeah.
And we're here to put out a magazine the best way we can. And when everybody's on that same kind of page, it really, really does help. Hey, you guys, let's talk about the parade, okay? I want to know, because I really want to push this out that people get an idea of what to expect. So can you guys embark on that just a little bit?
The parade is going to be very similar to years past. And so it'll start at Live Oak and go to Patriots Point. We have 1.25 miles of parade route, which for everybody who thinks it's so much shorter than it used to be the other direction, it's identical. But it's, so that gives you 2.5 miles of viewing area, right? If you consider both sides of the roadway. And there's tons of parking lots and businesses along that route who are happy, especially now, to be serving all of the people. There's Tzatziki's and Baskin Robbins, that whole area, and lots of businesses along the route. So, and people what we expect is that we thought, and it came true, that the number of entries would naturally limit themselves, which they have. Normally, we would be at about 100 to 110 floats and entries. This year, we're at about 57. And so what we believe is that the crowd size will follow suit. We will be live streaming the event. And so anybody in a high risk group or with underlying conditions that really make it where you've been being really careful and should be continuing to be really careful, you'll be able to pull it up on the Town of Mount Pleasant Facebook page. It's going to be live streamed on there. We feel good about that. And so everybody will be able to see, we all got used to sitting at home. I've been watching church on my TV for forever now. And so we'll be able to do that. And then the people who are comfortable coming out, good, healthy, whatever, wear your mask, set your little base camp up away from everyone else, and spread it out and be with your immediate family. And it's just going to be a beautiful event, I think.
Tracy, what do you think? There's obvious reasons putting this on is different than before, but what comes to your mind the biggest difference?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that you're going to notice from this year will be a few people missing from the parade. There's certain groups that aren't allowed to come because of policies and stuff, and we completely understand that. And we feel, of course, for the kids again. It's the seniors or maybe the freshmen in high school that have always looked forward to doing this that might not be participating this year. But it's just 1 year, and hopefully next year we'll have the Wando Band back in all their glory. One great thing is we've had some of the community groups that might not have normally been out there are going to come. We've got a couple car clubs. Car clubs actually do pretty good because they really have a lot of power. They'll light everything up. So we have a couple car clubs coming in. We've got Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We have the stormtroopers. They're coming out. You you don't get more masked than wearing a stormtrooper uniform. Nothing's coming out of that thing. So
That's true.
and there's been some businesses. Of course, we'll have the honor guard will lead it, and Santa comes in on the fire truck. So we're looking forward to having kind of a good blend. Oh, we've got some beauty queens. So you got to have beauty queens in a past.
Tracy loves those beauty queens.
I know. I love my beauty queens.
I was going to say now, there's the big red sleigh is going to be there with Mrs. Claus.
Oh, nice.
I know we can't have Mr. Claus, but we can have Mrs. Claus. So Mrs. Claus will be in the big red sleigh. So
nice.
So the route of the Christmas parade will be the same as it was last year, correct?
Right. It's been that way this will be our 4th year running it this way.
God, it doesn't seem like it's been 4 years of that new route. Wow.
I know, right? So it's not so new anymore. And actually, we've learned a lot doing it this way over the last few years. And really, people wonder, why does it not go back? Well, there's a multitude of reasons, really. The medians would make it next to impossible for anybody. You would take your viewing area from 2 sides of the road to one, essentially.
So where can people start lining up, Nicole, to watch it?
Anywhere from Live Oak Drive to Patriots Point. And at Patriots Point, there's that beautiful pocket park that's right there. We do have portalets. That just reminded me. There will be portable toilets set up along the route. And so one thing, we've always had hand sanitizer in those. We have added this year hand sanitizer stations. And you're asking a little bit about what might be different there. You'll see a lot of social distancing and mask signage out. We'll have staff going along and helping, reminding people if they don't have them on, please put them on, or stay, at least stay socially distanced.
One other thing that we do want spectators to understand this year is we have really asked all the participants not to pass out anything. So don't come to the parade planning to get any candy or any kind of little knick-knacky things.
I think when people pick up Mount Pleasant magazine now, there's a little more joy or a little more excitement in their hearts because it's a consistency in their lives. Okay, when people were asked to put this on, when the fire department, the police department, when you all put this together, do you find there's a tiny bit or a lot more little joy in your heart to be putting this on for the community?
Absolutely. I think, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but but every event is nerve-wracking in any environment. And so for me, yes, absolutely, because this is our first big event since the Christmas parade last year.
Oh, wow.
And so we've had no blessing. We've had no Children's Day, no party in the park. And so for us, this will be the first time all year that we really get to see that just the joy in the kids and the parents' faces. And so, definitely it makes it's a whole different ballgame.
I want to leave this podcast with saying I'm so happy we're having the parade because Nicole told me early on, not that long ago, actually, before it was okay, that she loved this parade so much that if it didn't happen, you were going to climb on the Ravenel Bridge and you were going to jump off. So it's a great way to end this, knowing that you're going to be with us for the rest of the year.
That's so funny. I don't make light of that whole thing, but yeah, it really was heartbreaking. The thought of, because, months and months and months ago when we were canceling the blessing, it was like, okay. And then party in the park, it was like, okay. And we were so grateful to have the farmers market all season. And we're so happy we knew we were going to be able to do the holiday market all along. And so
that before we leave, Nicole, let's do that. Let's talk about the farmers markets. I'm sorry that we didn't talk about that yet, Tracy. Can you talk about that just a little bit? And let's top it off with that. Is that okay?
Sounds great. So the farmers market the holiday market and craft show will be Saturday, December the 12th from 11 to 4. We have over 85 to 90 vendors out there. There's a lot of the regular summer vendors that are there, a couple of farmers, But this is the one event that we allow all the artisans to come out. And we have many of our vendors are actually Mount Pleasant residents. So it is really, truly a town event. It's an event that most of the vendors are right here from the town of Mount Pleasant. They've all been sitting inside since March, crocheting or hot gluing or painting, and they are ready to be out there and sell everybody their Christmas gifts. Holiday market is this Saturday, December the 12th, from 11 to 4. It's at the Farmers Market Pavilion on Coleman Boulevard. You can park right across the street at Mulchi Plaza, free parking. There's no admission. We'll have food. You can come and have lunch. We also have one exciting thing is this will be the one and only performance of the Mulchi Middle School chorus. Now it's going to be kind of broken out where each grade's going to come and perform separately. So it'll be right there, but they too haven't performed since last year. So the school district, we've worked together to come up with a safe way, lots of spacing for them to come out and sing some Christmas carols. So that'll be great.
Well, as I end the podcast, remember, viewers and listeners, these are the CEO of Fun for Mount Pleasant. So I appreciate you ladies very much. Thank you for joining us here on Voice for MP.
Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you this weekend and hope everybody has a wonderful holiday.
You as well. Thank you, ladies.
All right.
See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for spending your time with the Voice for Mount Pleasant podcast by Mount Pleasant Magazine. Your community, your podcast. Listen to past episodes at voiceformp.com.